So
Were you going to say
Yeah.
something, Jennifer?
No, it just told me the recording was starting. It kind of threw me on there. No, Robert, I thank you for that. I know in the back of my mind that we did the right thing when we did it. I just always kind of felt bad, except I always felt like I just felt kind of bad. I didn't feel like I did anything that was underhanded because we did. But I just always felt like, maybe, and the unfortunate part was they had a really not a very nice, not a very good leader in charge here in the Indiana area. So, unfortunately, he is no longer living. He had cancer and died maybe a year ago or so. But he was just not a good representative for them. So I I felt like we did the right thing for our group at the time. Um, and over the
It's
last
been a
couple of
great
years,
thing for us. Overall,
well, thank you for saying
it's
that.
been a
But
great thing for us. It
well,
has
and
turned
thank
into
you.
something awesome.
Well, I think the potential is. I think there's a lot of good opportunity, and I thank you for saying that. But I really, Dawn actually said something the other day, and I will. I know you know how great a leader she is. We need to get more members in this group because I think there's a whole bunch of people that just don't know you're here. But Dawn said something. I said that I believe one of the biggest things, our biggest thing is relationships, and relationships with each other, yourself, and we talk about authenticity. And Dawn, you said something along the lines of, to be really authentic, you need to know the whole person. Now, we don't need to know every little nook and cranny and background secret of everything. I'm not saying that. But I think it's really neat when I can think of our members and know things about them besides what they do in their day job. You know, that's great. That's what you do. That's not who you are necessarily. There's so much more to you. And
Yeah.
I'm talking to three very good examples of that. I know things about you guys that I'm not gonna threaten you with them or anything. I'm just saying there's some really neat things that make you whole, authentic, real people, not
Yeah.
just holding a spot in a networking group. We can appreciate who you are in your day job because we know you. We know more about you than just,
Yeah.
you sit at this desk every day.
And we get to
Anyway,
build off of that and
right.
network further based upon that. Nancy and
Exactly.
I have been chatting about doing a presentation in front of a group of seniors that I'm going to be talking about genealogy, and Nancy, you're going to be talking about.
I'm going to be feeding them.
You're going to be feeding.
Hey,
making connections.
there you go.
And so we're planning that for
They're
February.
never going
And
to feel.
that's not the major thing for either of us in our business, but it's part of our authenticity and something that we can share and contribute value based upon. So yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
Jennifer Johnson,
that's
I wanted
right.
to tell you, I just now noticed that the new theme that you talked about for TTR networking, the extraordinary relationships and education to start and grow your business.
Yeah.
Those are the two
Yep.
leading pieces of our rescue acronym, relationships and education. Was that planned?
Oh, you're
Because I'm
right.
just seeing that. I'm just
No, but you know what? That's a really good thing. That's a good point. No, I didn't. The RE, obviously, the last E is rest or execute, but I think by the time you get to the last E, you better be ready to execute it, or why are you wasting all your time? But no, I didn't know that. I just knew that when I look at it, when I look at the whole thing, I can tell people if they give us the time, they're committed. They come on a regular basis, like your lovely, you guys. I mean, you're going to walk away with, you're going to walk away with new relationships. You'll learn something about yourself, but all these other great people. And then, the business education, I don't depend just on me. I depend a lot on other people, and I'm still asking a little bit, but I mean, the plan would be that this year we're going to get some, business tools more than what I'm all about relationships, and I certainly want to educate, but I am not pretending like I'm the business guru. That is not, but but no, I didn't even realize that. Thank you for saying that. I will say, I know we're not too far from where we're going, but I don't know, Dawn, I don't want to steal any of your thunder, but I told Dawn today that I've been asking groups about their word of, or people in the groups, what is their word for the year? And not everybody does that. Some people do, some people don't. But I picked out extraordinary, and that was part of our market dominating, what is it, statement or position,
Yep.
that I want to be extraordinary. And what does that mean to people? Well, I was looking at some information on words of the year, and I don't know if extraordinary is a good idea. But I want you guys to think about it. But they had more like words of reflection, words of connection. And what was the other? I think I told you something, Dawn,
Focus.
today. Focus was one. So it's like action words. It's extraordinary is an adjective, right? Or yeah, it would be an adjective, I believe. So
Descriptive, yes.
yeah, so descriptive. So I was also thinking that bloom was one of the words. And I would love it if you guys would maybe, and I don't know, Dawn's kind of looked at me blankly a couple times. I've said, but we had a couple people this morning saying growth was one of theirs, focus. Somebody else said balance. A lot more active words. You know what I mean? Something that's motion or action. And to me, these last few years have been all about evolving and growing, and I'm not saying we don't need to grow. I know we need to grow, but I also kind of feel like I'm in the place where I feel like we need to bloom. We need to be out there sharing our message, and like Robert said, if we're not sharing it everywhere, we've got to share it everywhere. So the extraordinary relationships and education, I feel like that. I kind of feel like a flower is opening up. This is what we got to do. What does that mean, though? What does that mean to our individual members who are already here? What would that mean to you? Do you get a feeling of that? I know this group needs to grow, but do you feel like the relationships you've got are extraordinary, and why?
Yes.
Why are they? And I had the pleasure this morning of talking to two groups, and both of them, I don't know if they were saying what I wanted them to say, but they said they did feel like it was extraordinary. And I was like, yes, but I really want people to be honest. And if it's not, what do we need to do to make it that way? Can I do it? I mean, can we do it? I think it's not just me, but can we do it? And what would that mean? So anyway, can I throw that in your part, your
Of course.
just
Of
give it
course.
to you guys and say, take it away and let me know what you think.
All right. Well, I appreciate that you shared that with me ahead of time, Jennifer, and I already jotted down some of my thoughts. So just to jump right into that before you roll off, because I know that you're rolling off early. As far as extraordinary relationships, I think we have that. And when I think about our groups, even though they ebb and change, I think that, we make efforts to develop a mutual trust amongst us. I think that that's extraordinary because a lot of relationships are people meet and it's somewhat quick and it's not sustainable, so that mutual trust doesn't necessarily develop. But the fact that we're meeting week to week and talking, engaging, asking questions, I think all supports that. I think that we're reliable, and we talk about how we expect and deliver on reliability between us when we are passing referrals and making these warm introductions. That that's part of what we're able to say, that we're talking about a reliable business source here, and a friend of ours now that we've developed that relationship. And I think that that counts for something above the cold contact or the just passing a piece of paper referral here, contact this person. I think that that contributes to extraordinary. That we have genuine concern for each other. When we're not here on a weekly basis, not that we're trying to be nosy, but we're checking in on each other. And hey, have you got something going on? Where was it, business pulled you away? Are you focusing on some family time, which is fine? Are you healthy? Is there anything that you need? When can we look forward to seeing you again? That genuine concern is there, and that contributes to an extraordinary relationship beyond, I think, the normal business relationship. You had already mentioned earlier the authentic character, that we not only get to talk about ourselves and our main line of business, but we get to share our interests and, what's wonderful about them, how those things bring joy to our lives, bits and pieces about how we can share pieces of information with each other that might interest each other as consumers, as family members, as, as human beings. So all of that, I think, is stuff that contributes to not just having a relationship, not just having a contact, a name and a phone number and an email address of someone to talk to, but actually developing extraordinary relationships. And I do believe that TTR networking and collaborating connections supports that.
Thank you. Well, it was kind of I said it this morning and a lady goes, oh, I might have told you that, but she goes, but extraordinary doesn't mean anything. And I'm like, well, that's why we need to define it. I think you just did, and I'm thinking that is something you can't just tell somebody that, you have to have them come visit. I will say, Robert Hailey, you're a great guy. Robert Dokes, that visited with you a couple of weeks ago, smiled today when I had a meeting with him. He was very positive about his meeting with you. And he's very, seems like he really wants exactly what we bring, what comes to the, what you just said, Dawn. I think that's what he's looking for. He's not networking with any other groups as far as I know. So I would encourage you to reach out to him. But those are the kind of people we really do want to find, those, and I hope, that he will come back. I would just encourage, if you were on the call and my goodness, is this where we're supposed to be? So yeah, what time is it? 6:30. Yeah, we're supposed to be at this meeting. It doesn't look like anybody's here. Yeah, maybe they are here. But anyway, so just, I would encourage, invite people, please, because they don't even know. I think that was a conversation, they don't even know they're missing it until they join just to visit. And then they're like, boy, I really you know, how many of us thought we needed this weekly thing until you actually started doing it and, you know, then find, oh, I really like it. I really enjoy it. You know, all of that. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. But we're trying to figure out where we are. So I'm going to probably let you go. But I would just say I'm excited about 2023. If you all come up with some ideas about, you know, how can we put it out there better, what we do, other than putting it on all of our marketing and everything. I mean, there are ways, there's some things we can do in addition. I'm open to any thoughts you have. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you very much, you guys, ladies and gentlemen.
thank you, Jennifer. Talk to you
Thank you.
soon.
Have a great meeting. Bye. Hugs to
Bye.
everybody. Bye, guys.
All righty. Well, we will continue, and we jumped right into the conversation, but I'll do our regular introduction. My name is Dawn Evans Casey, and I'm the leader of Collaborating Connections, and we are a professional networking group under the To the Rescue, that's TTR Networking umbrella. We've been around for over 5 years. TTR Networking has been around for more than 11 years, starting out in central Indiana. But since COVID, we transitioned to this Zoom networking call, and now we can engage wonderful professionals from coast to coast and around the world. And we are looking forward to meeting you, meeting more people, meeting more wonderful professionals, finding out what you do, learning a little bit about who you are, and what types of connections you are looking for. On a monthly basis, TTR Networking has a particular business theme that guides our professional development and discussion. And for the month of January, our theme is joining. So we will be talking about joining a little bit later today. What we usually do in the 60 to 90 minutes of our weekly calls is open the floor to some general discussion, some wins that may have happened recently or soon to come. We do our refresh of items or events that are coming up involving TTR networking overall. And then we do a roundtable of introductions of those individuals and their businesses, those who are on the call. Following that is our general professional development discussion, and then just general thoughts before we wrap up. So to start out tonight, I'm going to open the floor. If anyone has had any wins or any wonderful shares that they'd like to speak on. I know in the last couple of weeks with the holidays going on, we missed meeting a week or two. So if you've got some updates you'd like to share, please do so. Anybody?
Made it through the holidays.
Good. Super
Back to
awesome.
normal.
That polar whatever
Oh yeah, that was bad.
that blew through here through central Indiana. It delayed our travel just before Christmas by one day. We actually ended up going to Michigan Christmas Eve, and the roads in Indiana still were pretty dicey that Saturday, but we took it slow and made it safely there and back. So I don't know what you want to call it, an effect of global warming, or just, hey, was Mother Nature letting us know that winter was definitely here. But it was, when we had below zero temperatures here in Indiana, it was actually warmer in Michigan, and that rarely happens. So go figure.
That was the time I'm looking at the thermostat thinking, is this heater working? Because it's cold in this house. stupid heat pump didn't do very well.
Ah, gotcha. But I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas holiday, a wonderful New Year's holiday as well. And welcome to 2023. Uh, let's see. I want to remind everybody that we have a very special TTR Networking Presents coming up on Thursday, January 12th at 1 p.m. And it is titled Beyond the Paper with Robert Bonjour, who of Offset House Printing. And he is one of our, what do we call him?
Premier?
Premier
Global.
partners, global
Global.
partners of TTR Networking. Yes. So there is an Eventbrite link available as far as a place to register. Even if you can't attend in person, it would be a good idea to register for the event so that you can receive a copy, an email of the recording to listen to at a later date. But his presentation Beyond the Paper also shares a lot of the individuality, the special nuances of his company's printing business and how they interact with the community after many years of service. So we look forward to seeing everybody who can attend that TTR Presents event. Okay, and I wanted to mention.
Dawn, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That isn't. Is that on Zoom as well?
Yes, it's on Zoom. You just have to register for it on Event.
Yeah, I registered for it because I didn't see. Well, I didn't think it was in person, but I saw it was in Zoom, so I did sign up and make for that.
Awesome. Beyond that, I wanted to remind everyone, I sent an email out to our membership today, which included a list of reasons. I think there's probably about 15 reasons to join Collaborating Connections. And I'd really like it if each of you could take a look at that listing, see, does it make sense? Is there anything else that you'd add or clarify? And that's going to be utilized as part of our talking points going forward as we grow our base membership.
If I may ask, which email did you send it to me?
It was sent from Spa Travel.
But where did you send it to? Which email address? You remember? Because if you sent it to my old email, I wouldn't get that one, but it was sent to my Old National.
I believe it went to Old National.
Okay, I'll double check myself.
Okay. I think also in that email, I included the contact information for some of our most recent visitors. Robert Offset, Robert, our video guy, and our concierge doctor that had visited us recently. So in case you have not scheduled a one-on-one with any of those three visitors, that information is in the email as well. Okay. So, just want to remind everybody and anyone in our listening audience, we spoke a little bit earlier about the To the Rescue, what rescue stands for. And just to reiterate, the R is for relationships, the E is for education, the S is for success strategies, the C is for community, the U is for understanding, and the E is for execution. So those are some of the hallmark ideas, the base of the vision for TTR networking, and something that we encourage and believe in. So moving on from that, I'd like to go ahead and start our roundtable introductions. So Nancy Vesley, are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yes, I am. I'm Nancy Vesley, IHC Specialty Benefits, health insurance, including supplements to people, even if they have insurance from their employer. We have supplements you can pick up that would help cover you if in case of accidents, in case of anything that you would have to do your deductible for. Also do small businesses, also do dog and cat. What else? And Medicare, if you know anybody turning 65, or yeah, at this point, anybody turning 65, or if they have Medicare questions, I could help them. We probably can't change their plan unless they want to leave the one they just selected the end of last year, but I can help them see what we could do if they have issues with some problem with it. So that's what I'm looking for. Just anyone that has any health insurance questions.
Okay, great. Do you, I know I ask you this all the time. Do you mind running through the basic stipulations for the business insurance?
The business insurance, you need one employee, full-time employee, that's a W-2 employee. And that's all you, and then so it would be you and one employee. And even if that employee decides not to take it, you could still get your small business plan based on your own needs. And we just have to have the employee sign a paper saying they were offered and they did not take it. Right now, since open enrollment is not for small businesses, you would be responsible to pay 50% of the insurance for your employee. If you wait until November when the period is open, then you don't have any requirements. You don't have to pay anything if you don't want, or whatever number you want, whatever percent if you were interested or not interested in paying. But right now you'd be responsible for 50% of your employees' health insurance.
So all those who perhaps are considering starting a new business in 2023, starting an entrepreneurial endeavor, and have a staff of at least one full-time W-2 employee.
Yep.
And are looking for a health insurance program for themselves and their employee, that they are the excellent referral for Nancy Vesley and IHC Insurance right now. So just to give that shout out to those who may be listening to this recording, is business insurance, individual health insurance, Medicare, you said?
Medicare still, you can't sign up for it unless you're just turning 65.
Okay.
But if you're on Medicare, you're kind of stuck for the year.
Okay. And then pet insurance.
Pet insurance.
All right. Any questions for Nancy Vesley? All righty. Well, Robert Hailey, are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yes. Robert Hailey with Old National Bank. Definitely we focus on low to moderate income folks to definitely help folks to become homeowners, try to educate as well as change the mindset of folks that's renting apartments or never owned a home before in the last 3 years, or been on title in property, would be considered first-time home buyers. And we do have dollars to assist them with their home purchase. We focus a lot on, really, I want to focus mainly, I do loans all over, but I focus mainly in Indianapolis, Indiana area to try to help those people to ensure that housing wealth and housing gap that is out there for us, for the Black and brown folks out there. So Old National Bank, Robert Hailey, been in the business for over 25 years. Office right now, new office, 6880 Pendleton Pike, LP office at Pendleton Pike and Shadeland. So come by and see me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you mention one of the stipulations for the housing assistance program that you offer is that they have not been on a title of a home property in the last 3 years. How is that something that you and Old National verify?
Well, is that basically when folks come to buy a home, it's through title work. We do title search and through a mirror ways and figure out if somebody having ownership in any properties. So folks think they can get around. I said, well, you can't really get around it because if you have property, you have to be on title. And we have title companies and title searches and search engines to figure out what have you owned or have not or not owned in the past 3 years. And then we do so we do all those searches to find that out. So you can't cheat us. You end up cheating yourself and hurting yourself in the long run. But we find out if you have. But we make it way up front. If you had one young lady call me and she said, I heard that I can buy a house. If I have not, because I've had her own home in 3 years, she misunderstood. She owns a home. I said, well, you're an owner of her home, so therefore you don't qualify. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, you own deed to the property and you still have ownership in it. And she said, I want to buy another property. Yeah, you can buy another property, but you can't buy another property as your primary residence. It's only the odd dollars are first for that. You can buy it as an investment property. You're welcome to do that. Or a second home, providing that you meet all that requirement as well.
Okay.
So
Great. So certainly individuals who have been out there renting for the past several years, who may feel like they are getting charged out of the rental market now with rates going up, that this may be a very good time for them to consider home ownership and taking advantage of programs that are available for them if they are first-time home buyers. And even out in our listening audience, if there are parents of young adults who are ready to get those kids out of their household and into their own, or wanting to encourage and support their young adults who are coming out of college, perhaps, and renting, but ready for the responsibility of home ownership. That there could be monies and programming that is open and available to them. So to spread the word that even with the current interest rates, now is still a very good time to become a homeowner, correct?
correct. Again, if you, I tell folks that and think about it this way. Think of it this way. Started buying them, say, I want to invest in myself. If you want to invest in yourself, buying a home is that way to invest in yourself. One thing about it, I said, well, what do you rent a property for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? I said, well, you get nothing in return. Nothing in return. The only thing about it, your rent payment goes up, but you have no ownership and you have no equity built. So one thing about it, say if you own a home, buy a home now, instead of you go buying that car, you invest in a home. It'd be the best investment you have, because now you're creating some housing wealth. With one of the things that young folks realize, say, well, you invest in yourself. The equity can be used to do many different things for you. And most importantly, after 5 years or 10 years, you may want to move somewhere else, or you got to take a job somewhere else. You can put this house for sale and walk away with equity towards your new home or your new investments. If you're a small business person and you say, hey, I want to start my own business, this is a chance to borrow money from yourself. Invest. If you got children, young kids that you soon grow up to go to college, you want to be able to help them. Again, this is another way of doing that, or just be able to create some wealth for yourself that you now invest in yourself. That because one thing about it, if it didn't grow up in value, paying down the principal, the mortgage, and you build the equity from there. But the houses normally gain equity between 1.5% to 2% here in the Midwest. So, think about it this way: invest in yourself.
Gotcha. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Robert.
You're welcome.
I do want to acknowledge another member of the Collaborating Connections, Stacy Schamberger Smith, who is not online with us tonight, but Stacy is I believe, a director with the Tava Lifestyle Products that are products that are for your health and well-being, providing energy and vitamins and stamina for individuals. So please feel free to check Stacy out. Let's see, I have her contact that I can share. Stacy, whoops, Stacy RX03@gmail.com. And again, she is with Tava Lifestyle Products. They happen to have a liquid vitamin, Valley 30, that is my favorite. I know that she calls it liquid gold, and I've experienced that with the liquid vitamins. They appear to be absorbed by my system much faster, perks me up in the morning, gets me ready for my work day, and I don't have any crash or burn, and that is sustainable energy. So I am a happy client, consumer of the Tava Lifestyle products as well. Again, my name is Dawn Evans Casey, and my company is Spa Travel. We are a full service travel agency, and we are all about relaxed adventure. So I love to help my clients have enjoyable, memorable travel experiences. I listen to what they're looking for, whether it is a fun getaway for an individual, a family, whether it's a domestic travel or international, cruise, destination rail, airfare, all-inclusive resort. All of these things I certainly can help with researching and booking. Additionally, I love to assist my clients even beyond the booking. So if they're having issues while they're in travel status, stuck at an airport, canceled flights, which I know lots of people endured during this recent past holiday, I work as an advocate on behalf of my clients to help resolve those issues, work with the travel vendors to get them safely to their destination, get them into the accommodations that they have contracted for and anticipated, so that they can again enjoy their travel experience, and hopefully will look forward to traveling again. So that's me, Dawn Evans Casey, Spa Travel. Is there any questions related to travel that I might be able to help anyone with this evening?
Do you ever fly Southwest?
Yes. Southwest is one of the great discount airlines because they don't charge extra for baggage. You get those 2 free bags and you know, literally those bags fly free. All of the other discount airlines, while the cost of the airline ticket may be very affordable, once they start adding in the baggage fees, that starts adding up to a cost equal to the major airlines. So Southwest definitely had an advantage for quite a while in that the pricing. But this glitch this time is a severe dent in the reputation as a reliable airline. And I believe that they will face some major fines through the US government. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I don't know if they will be able to fix their problems and rebound from this, if they will be bought out and branded under another name. We'll just have to kind of sit back and see how this works out. I sincerely hope that all of those who were inconvenienced found a way to stay safe and are getting reimbursed for that inconvenience.
I don't know why only one airline had an issue, no? Or did they all?
They have a very different ticketing system than others, than the major, the Delta, the Uniteds, and so forth. So I think while they've used it for several years, it might be considered out of date, antiquated, and they could not easily transition to find out, well, how do I get this traveler to their destination with the help of the other airlines, because their system wasn't communicating with the other airlines as effectively.
Okay.
I'm sure that the cost of updating their system is going to be substantial, but it's one of those things that they're going to have to bite the bullet and deal with. Yeah.
Cool.
That and staffing issues as a result, coming out of COVID, a lot of the service organizations have faced real staffing issues, from pilots to the desk clerks and baggage handlers, etc. So that's another thing that they'll have to effectively manage. And certainly you kind of take a look at that and iron those things out, hopefully ahead of the holiday season when there's going to be peak travel. But in this particular case, that didn't seem to happen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. We still have our topic of joining to discuss. And while I mentioned that I know that I just sent that email out today, so I want to give you all a chance to kind of peruse it before we dive into that. I think going into that in some detail is something we'll put on the agenda for next week. But I do want to ask you, while you're here, what were the main drivers that helped you decide to join a networking group? Because I think that TTR networking overall, collaborating connections specifically, as we are looking to grow and expand in 2023, we want to know what are those pulse points that make the difference for a business to be able to comfortably participate in networking and recognize the value that they can get out of it. Your thoughts?
Well, I guess what made me join a networking group, I always felt that a networking group, initially is I joined personally to want to, instead of trying to go out there and solicit folks, I said, well, let's try to build a relationship. What better way to do it is in a networking group that's like-minded or somewhat similar-minded thought process, willing to sincerely looking to contribute and well as to receive and build a relationship, a natural relationship. Because I know one thing, no one's going to refer you to someone if they don't know you, and vice versa. At least I know I wouldn't. And so that is one of the things. So I feel one better way to do it is being find a networking group that really offer those tools to allow you to help you to succeed, as to create the networking, as well as give you something to build yourself up, help you develop yourself and your business. And in that time of doing that, and over time, you have a natural relationship where it's easy when you think about things. You'll say, well, somebody looking for medical insurance or just insurance general. Hey, I'll think of Nancy. So, okay, here's a person can help you with that. Medicare can maybe at least advise you, not me. I'm going to give you a warm referral to her, and she's going to help you to do that. And that's easy to have a conversation with someone like that. So how well, I meet with her every week, all the time. So I do know who she is and what she does, and she's truly going to take care of you there. And that's what you want. I've been to many networking groups, and I realized they have each one of them said networking, but they all have different purpose. I call some of them are like, you just going in there and trying to fog the mirror. Well, you're not gonna get much there, because you're not there's it's just transactional. So there's nothing organically growing, and that person may be there for a couple of weeks, and that's when they're gone, and it's constant turnover. So you always more new people joining, but also many people join, a lot of people have left, so it's high turnover. I said because you're not making any, it has no value. And I think with us, I look at us and say, well, we have value. We just got to make sure that we are really sharing and stating that value every chance we get, and emphasizing that value of all the things that's involved and that we have, and then somehow or another communicate it out verbally as well as on paper wise. So people can know, and always have it somewhere in our message. Make sure our message speaks to what networking is. Hey, take the word and spell it out, and share that with someone, and it goes out. It's all. And what does that network mean? And then you say, "This is what you get when you be part of a networking group, and this is what you should be looking for in part of a networking group, as well as this is what you should be bringing to a networking group, because it's not about receiving; it's about giving." It's like so you can't go in a place with your hand out expecting to get something in return. I said, well, chances are you're not getting anything in return, because you're not putting nothing in. Put something in, and you start seeing the value of what you're doing and what it has and what to offer. I think we just don't tell that story enough, or share that story enough with folks, even those because it's easy to get busy in our work that we do, and we forget about, and that if we pause for a minute, there's some tools maybe that's available to help aid us in our time of either we're peaking and trying to network, trying to change another course, or you're trying to you're on a downward spiral, you're trying to stop the downward, and you need something to refresh you or remind you to move you forward in something, or to that person that that in your group can be a lift to you, not or something that they can share something, or just having that bond or talk to share some things. And that's what we got to really emphasize those points. And I think you do a good job of emphasizing the call that, hey, make sure you can reach out to someone today. Just say no more and say hello. That's when you build that. If you calling each other, it becomes more of a natural conversation versus you trying to fit it in. It's not always business, but it's about personal. Yep. If you learn something, share something, do something. I'm not in birds, so I can't talk to her about birds. Maybe she can help me to understand about birds. I don't know. So have you thought about this bird? Have you share something there? So, and that gives you another interest that you can say, oh, can we look into that, and take an interest in her interest, and that's what makes the natural part of it. Because if I'm going to be organic, be friends with her, I have to willing to learn something about her. And birds, she's passionate about birds. Man, why she's passionate about these birds? Understand what got her into talk to, and then she share a little bit with you. Before you know, it's like, oh, I mean, you start liking birds. Maybe you may not buy one, but you appreciate them now.
Agreed. I know that, as we have talked, and as we mentioned earlier, kind of gotten to know each of us on our authentic selves, understanding your passion, Robert, for the 100 Black Men and the many programs that it offers. And, I can connect with that, and that my son was in the financial literacy program and the Botillion program with 100 Black Men. So I had firsthand experience on the value of that organization. So, I love to support it. I love to see it active in the community, and all that you guys do. And again, while we are looking to make the TTR Cares program even more robust in this 2023 year, I'm definitely going to make sure that 100 Black Men is on the calendar to be a part of that. Because, I not only know from my own experience with my son, but from the things that you shared with us in Collaborating Connections about the difference that it makes in the community and the level of need that exists within the organization. So that's great. The same when Nancy reached out to me about doing a program for these seniors, I talk about my travel business every week we get together. But the fact that I have shared with her about my passion for genealogy and family history, and she connected that that would be a great thing to share with this senior bunch, gives us an opportunity to network on a different level, to provide value, to do good in our communities. So that's what I love about this networking experience, that it certainly goes beyond the surface business networking, that it really touches on the extraordinary relationships that we're building. Nancy?
I'll jump into that. Again, same thing is like, I at Tuesday afternoon, it's like, oh man, I've got that 6 o'clock meeting. And then after I come out of it, it's like it just Dawn, sometimes it's like you just present stuff that just refreshes me to just charge into the rest of the week and get it done. Because when you're doing the 2 jobs and you spend all your time doing the 9 to 5 job, and it's like, oh, I'm done for the day. It's like, no, if you want that other job to go off and to get somewhere, you have to continue to work, after 5 o'clock. And it's a lot. And it's a lot of, it's your own, a lot of times you see the dream, what you want to do. It just takes a little bit of work. But I should say it takes a lot of work in some cases, because, year after year, you're plowing. Yeah, you're doing better. You're getting higher numbers. You're getting there. But it's still not something that's going to come overnight. And networking in this group gives you an opportunity to, connect and then see what other people are doing, see what's working for people, and see what other directions people are going in. I would think we would be able to get more network marketers in here. How many people? I've gone to Mary Kay people a couple times, when I see their emails, it's like, hey, what are you doing Tuesday night? Then I always hear, oh, we have our meeting Tuesday night. So now I'm going for Avon people. We get some network marketers in here because they need this as bad as anybody else. And I mean, if we get more people involved, then more relationships between us develop, and it helps all of us. The more people the more people you can help refer other people to.
Yeah. I think, we want to grow our membership. We also want to grow our visitors.
Mm-hmm.
Folks can come and visit and share who may not find this to be the perfect fit for them. But the fact that we take the time to listen to who they are, what their business is about, what they know, and if we follow up and make that one-on-one follow-up call, make that connection, talk a little bit more to find out more about them,
Mm-hmm.
they may still be an avid referral partner, just not an active member of the networking group.
Mm-hmm.
And they may still be able to expand our connections beyond our original group. So there's value in meeting visitors and potential new members alike. And we are actively searching out everybody. Come kick the tires and see if this is a good fit for you. And if it's not, that's okay.
Yes.
It's not anything to say, oh no, taboo,
Not one of those networking businesses.
There are benefits to membership, certainly, that we would love to share. But there are benefits just to the visit, just to the, expanded networking realm. that we're happy to invite and engage with people on that level. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows and hears that as well. I want to ask, of our various engagement points, we do several Facebook posts a week on our Collaborating Connection site. Some of those also carry over to the TTR Networking Facebook page as well. I'm occasionally doing group texts out to our membership group to remind you of meetings, or let you know, if somebody's having a birthday, or if we've canceled a meeting because of a holiday or something like that. We've got the YouTube recordings that are out there under the Collaborating Connections YouTube page. We're constantly encouraging the one-on-one follow-up meetings. Are all of those engagement channels useful and beneficial to each of you? And do you have any ideas? Is there anything else that you'd like to see?
Be honest there, Dawn.
Please.
So, because I'm always the first one to say I'm gonna be critical of myself for anything. I don't use it all, and I really, that's that is my error on me, that I must tap into, because I'm so busy, but I also got to realize that, and for me, again, I take my own advice. I have to take advantage of what we offer as a networking group, and then it's just figure out. I got to figure out how to make it much more simplified for me to get to it, and make it part of my day. But I deal with on my job that I do every day. My site, I'm restricted on what I can get to, because as a bank,
yes,
and that's the laptop I have with me. The only way I can get into all those things, I have to have my personal laptop. When I'm home, I'm on work, and then when I'm on my personal, I'm doing the 100 stuff. And then so I figure out I can, because I try to get from my permissions expanded, but they will not get nobody expanded to social media. Only I can get in LinkedIn, but I can't we won't get Facebook.
Okay.
Well, yeah, see, and that's really
that's great feedback, because Collaborating Connections has a LinkedIn page, but I'm not active on it, because I didn't know that was a resource that would be used by the group so much. So
yeah, because
hearing that now, that's extremely helpful.
Because if you can link that everything you do on Facebook to LinkedIn, and it filters over, then I'm able to get it much easier and work it much better. Because I know my Facebook page, my business page, my business page, I can't activate it, can't get into it, because work doesn't allow me to get to that. Gotcha. So I'm not able to see. It's like you say, the email, you say, well, I'm looking in my junk and spam. I don't see the email.
Okay.
From you. I do. Yes, I do. I see it now.
Oh.
Got it. Got it. I have to permission it. I'm on my side. Put it on the whiteboard, as we call it.
And probably what works best, just like I did today, I think I sent a message in our group text saying that I was going to send it, as well as sending it through email. So whether it goes to somebody's spam or is in a box that you have to permission from or whatever, to acknowledge it in another communication kind of gives you the heads up that something's there to be read, reviewed, or seen. So I would hate to just send it and assume that everybody has received it and it's gone off into email oblivion. So I'm much more concerned that I'm covering the bases of what you would look at, what would engage you, Not that you are engaged with every path that we communicate through, because that's a lot, but I just want to make sure that the places that you would be looking at, the places that you might refer a visitor or a potential member to, that we do have that included. So I much appreciate the heads up about the LinkedIn, and I'm going to find a way to connect our Facebook and the LinkedIn page for your benefit.
Yeah, because we just as a bank, it's just that we had to protect from spam and everything else, and one way to make sure we don't get spam or anything, all the crazy stuff, is don't give no one access to it. I mean, no one has access to Facebook, and they won't connect because Facebook has so many crazy things happening. And we do have access to LinkedIn, but if you can share and it can filter over, that'd be great.
Sure.
So I had to join. So I will have to join. I mean, not join, but more so request the page on LinkedIn.
Okay. Awesome.
TTR.
What about you, Nancy? Do you currently see or utilize those engagement paths that I mentioned? Or can you think of anything else that you would like to see?
I always question Facebook and what it shows and who it shows. I really question with all the changes that they've made, how many people that you have actually see the posts. And I know there's a number, you see this big number like 30 or 40. I really question where the numbers come from, because I have other, like the Bird Club has a big number, and you end up with 60 people saw it, but nobody responds. So what do you call that? Lack of interest, or they're not even looking at it. They might have flipped through it when they're paging through your feed to see what's there. I don't know. I don't get it. And I blame Facebook. I really do, because you can't guarantee they see the people that you want to see it are going to see it. I really don't think. And I would think, is collaborating a group or is it public?
Collaborating Connections has both. There is a group and there is a business page.
Okay.
The business page has more followers. The group, I believe, is private. So it has less, the group has visitors and members who have been invited to be a part of the group. And in that group is where you're certainly open to post any advertisements, any members' advertisements and updates and things going on. The business page itself includes a lot more: the TTR Presents, the TTR Cares, the motivational postings, the Eventbrite events and trainings and recommended resources. I'd say the page offers a lot more than the group discussion, but they're both there under Collaborating Connections. And I see the business suite information as far as how many people are being reached by each post, how many engagements are included, if our numbers for the week and the month as far as new viewers has increased or decreased. I get an idea for which type of posts have the most impact. So I am reviewing that frequently. I learned that adding a picture or a video increases the views. So whenever I post anything, I try to find some relevant picture to put with it, hoping that it reaches an audience. And our Collaborating Connections Facebook page is also linked to a couple of other networking groups, so that when I post it on the Collaborating Connections, it automatically posts on a couple of other networking group pages as well. Did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay. Good, good. Do you see the YouTube recordings? Is that something that you might utilize for your own marketing, or you forward it on to other potential visitors, or?
I haven't in the past.
Okay.
And honestly, I haven't in the past when there's such a small number. You know, if we had a whole bunch of people, but because we don't have a lot of people, I mean, sometimes we get up to 5 and stuff, or 6. But that's what usually, if you invite someone, they always ask, how many people attend, or how many people is in that group? And that's usually one of the first questions they ask. And it's like, I think we're about 5 or 6 right now, is what I normally come up with. But and I don't know. I wonder if you would get them, if instead of inviting them to just visit, maybe ask them to come in and talk. You know, we had the accountant that you had the one time. Maybe if we had more speakers, I mean, something different, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to get someone that would get some interest, especially the accountant now with taxes. I don't know about you, but I'm going heavy on mine to get them done. We'll see.
Certainly can invite her back. This might be a great time of the year to have her. I know part of the plan for 2023 is to reconnect with our nonprofits as well. And because Robert Dokes mentioned that a larger percentage of his video business is focused on business with nonprofits, that could be mutually beneficial to his type of business, as well as assisting us on our community involvement TTR Care side. So we're trying to make sure that we're covering all of our bases going into 2023, that we include all of our relevant stakeholders in the process of professional networking.
Very good.
Cool. Well, I don't have any other questions. I don't know if anybody else has anything that they want to share on the topic of joining tonight, but we'll have more next week for sure. And again, I want to encourage you to look through the list of reasons to be a part of Collaborating Connections, and perhaps make some notes. And we are going to dive into that a bit more with next week's meeting, as well as I know that I'm going to be doing some active inviting this week. So as I get confirmations on individuals who will be with us, I'll send that out in our group text, just so you get an idea of who will be, what faces you may see next week on our meeting. Okay?
Okay, I have a question for you before you go. I've got your email where it says you shared a file, right? Here's the document. So when I click it, oh, maybe I should try opening it. It's asking for a password.
Is it? There is no password to it. Were you able to open that, Robert?
You're muted, Robert.
Oh, I have to move it to, I know it won't open on my, it won't open, hold on, the work email. I don't think it will. It typically will, maybe it will. It is asking for a password because it come up with Casey Steak and Shake and ask for a password.
All right.
Steak and Shake sign in. It's a Steak and Shake sign in.
Yep. That's my day job.
Yeah, so it's asking for a password to sign in. So this you may have to share the link differently.
Okay. Here, I will just copy the whole body of it. Copy.
So is Paul still with us?
I have not talked to.
But,
He's still an active member pay wise.
okay. I'll poke him because it's like, come on, where are you, Paul?
I do it all the time. You know, I include him on emails. I see him on Facebook that he posts something and I share it.
Mhm.
But I have not been able to actually speak to him or get
So
a
have
response.
we lost a few people on the in the group?
Yes. Yes, we have. Bryn has spun off.
Okay.
And Pauline.
Has spun off or left TTR or went to a different TTR?
Left TTR.
Pauline, okay.
Mhm.
And Pauline's gone too.
Correct.
Pauline is the one with the gift making the cards
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
How about the young lady in Michigan? The Avon.
Oh yeah.
She's gone too?
Yes, she is. She's been gone for quite some time.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'll be, the curious to go back and ask those folks, what would they, I guess you guys do an exit interview with them or no?
I would say not an exit interview, but
just for
as far as your
survey why they
yes,
what they
everyone provides for Pauline, and I will